President Trump set to meet with technology leaders at the White House today, including Intel, HP, Qualcomm, and IBM, to talk tariffs and stricter export rules. Canada's next prime minister to replace Justin Trudeau, former central bank head Mark Carney, already slamming Trump over tariffs.
There's someone who's trying to weaken our economy. Donald Trump. Donald Trump. And Donald Trump, as we know, has put, as the Prime Minister just said, unjustified tariffs on what we build, on what we sell, on how we make a living. He's attacking Canadian families, workers, and businesses, and we cannot let him succeed.
I spoke with President Trump in an exclusive interview on Sunday Morning Futures on tariffs and the impact to markets and manufacturing. Here's what the president said. Before you came into the Oval Office the first time, you were a very successful businessman, very successful real estate executive. And a lot of people said, oh, this is the business president. This is it. He's watching the stock market. He knows all about, he doesn't want the market to go down. And now we've got tariffs and the market has been going down.
Well, not much. I mean, in all fairness, not much.
You said, look, we're going to have a disruption, but we're okay with that. Is that what you meant? The stock market going down was the disruption? What other disruption were you alluding to?
Look, what I have to do is build a strong country. You can't really watch the stock market. If you look at China, they have a 100-year perspective. We have a quarter. We go by quarters.
That's true.
And you can't go by that. You have to do what's right. What we're doing is we're building a tremendous foundation for the future, tremendous foundation.
The public companies want to make sure that we have clarity. After April 2nd, when those reciprocal tariffs go in, is that it? Are you going to change anything after that? Will we have clarity?
You'll have a lot, but we may go up with some tariffs. It depends. We may go up. I don't think we'll go down, but we may go up. But you're going to have, they have plenty of clarity. They just use that. That's like almost a soundbite. They always say that. We want clarity. Look, our country's been ripped off for many decades, for many, many decades, and we're not going to be ripped off anymore. And you take a look at what's happened. The chip maker, the greatest chipper, Mr. Wei, the biggest in the world by far, is going to spend $200 billion on making a massive plant to make chips. It'll be 40% of the market. We go from nothing. We used to have the whole market. Intel, when it was led by somebody that was extremely good, you know that, right? And once that man was gone, it didn't do so well. And we literally have none, we have a very small percentage of that market. We're going to have pretty soon with this one company. This is a legendary company and man. And he's coming in investing hundreds of billions of dollars into manufacturing. It's actually primarily one really massive plant. It's going to be great.
So is that your message to American companies? You don't like the tariffs? Build your factory here. Are you willing to give them a grace period?
Right.
Because it takes time, 3 years to fire up a manufacturing plant.
Right. What Mr. Wei did is he said, I want to build here because he doesn't want to pay the tariffs and because he likes the fact that Trump won. He said, I did it for two reasons. Number one, you won. And number two, I don't want to pay tariffs. Otherwise, I'd have to pay. And number three, in that case, he wants to be maybe some diversity from Taiwan, which makes sense too.
So President Trump is making it real clear. He did say we are going to see a disruption over the near term. It looks like that's what we're getting, Liz Peek. Stocks are trading lower again because investors are not sure what the road looks like ahead. We're supposed to get the aluminum and steel tariffs this week, but you just heard the president. Tariffs may go up over time, and we've got another decline in stocks. Your reaction?
Yeah. So, Maria, first of all, congratulations on the interview. It was fantastic. It's literally made headlines worldwide. I think this is a difficult, rocky period for President Trump, and these kinds of interviews are going to be incredibly important for him to explain to the American people over and over again why he is doing what he's doing. And frankly, I think it's great he's meeting with the tech CEOs today, because the more he has input from the business community, the more he brings those people on board with what he's doing, the more important that's going to be. And by the way, all we're hearing about now is tariffs. There's also deregulation. There's also lower taxes. Those things have to be brought up the priority scale, it seems to me, for this White House, so that it isn't just all negative news all the time. There's also positive things coming out.
Yeah, it's a great point. And the other thing that the president noted to me was the fact that he's bringing wealth back to America. And that's very important. He views that as one of the most important items that will be a catalyst for growth. He has already lured investors and companies to the tune of $2 trillion of new money that has gone into this economy already. Commitments of $2 trillion. The president also told me about American agriculture. It will be better off under his leadership. Watch this.
The farmers never did better than when I was president. Now, this is a very different thing for the farmers. Here, the farmers are going to make their money at home because they're not going to be able to dump all this stuff from, in many cases, dirty stuff, but they're not going to dump it into our country. The farmers can make it and sell it locally as opposed to going and selling it overseas to China. It's very different, but there'll ultimately be more money for the farmer than there was even before. But the sad part, when Biden was president, he didn't press China to buy the product. They agreed to buy $50 billion worth of product a year. And they were doing it, and then when he came in, they didn't do it.
Remember, he did that deal with China, Kenny, and they were keeping up their part of the bargain until Joe Biden got into office. Then they stopped.
Right. It's unbelievable, right? But to his point and to this interview, which was great, it's going to take time, right? The country needs to know. Investors need to understand that. So the uncertainty is what's causing the volatility. But like Liz said, I think this is a great move. All the other stuff has to be accentuated. Investors have to stop accentuating the negatives and start accentuating all the positives that are going to come out of this.
Yeah, what do you think, Cheryl, real quick?
Maria, your interview is still making headlines, and it was last night because the president aboard Air Force One was asked about his hesitation with you when you asked him about the recession, and his response was, of course, you hesitate, but who knows? As you mentioned with the president, the markets are waking up again. We're going to have to see how the tariff and the recession story plays out. But as you've mentioned many times, Atlanta Fed is looking at a potential recession, at least first quarter growth at being negative 1.5%, which you've repeatedly mentioned. And again, congratulations on the interview, Maria.
Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, look, we're watching growth and we're watching these tariffs, and that's why the market is selling off again this morning, because the president said they may go up over time. Markets have to get comfortable with his plans. Build it in America is his plan, and creating growth from the jobs created. Dow Industrials down 364. Let's slip in a short break and then come right back at it.